I saw this daffodil last spring, and I thought it looked like a little person. Do you see it? She looks like royalty, I think. I decided she was the perfect subject for a quick little Becorn photo. I had no idea this project would take me all summer. Becorns are little people that I make out of acorns, and usually I photograph them with animals, but this episode is a little different. Today I'll be building little people with flowers and photographing them with becorns. I've tried building flower creatures in the past, and I've never shared most of them because most of the pictures don't really tell a story and the characters don't look alive, I guess. Flowers are just so hard to build with. For starters, they're really fragile, so it's hard to connect them in such a way that the characters can hold a pose or even support their own weight. Also, it's hard to find good faces in flowers. I use taxidermy eyes, which don't have eyelids or eyelashes, and I feel like it works sometimes, but not all the time. Like this character, not my best. I tried adding hair, but probably the hardest part of building with flowers is that they wilt, so you can't keep a collection of parts. You have to hurry up and collect all your building materials, and you're kind of limited to what's growing nearby. Then build a character and photograph it and just kind of hope it doesn't start raining, or even if it's too sunny, it can be a problem. It's a real challenge. But last year, I did manage to take a picture that I'm really proud of. So this video is about how I took that picture and all the techniques I learned that enabled me to do it. Hi, I'm Dave Bird, and this is Becorns, Episode 5, Building with Flowers is Hard. I love to imagine what life would be like for a becorn. I mean, just imagine you're 3 inches tall, living in the woods with a nut for a body. Winter's long and cold, so you hunker down and you wait. And then spring comes, and there's so much to explore and discover. And then you find these creatures sprouting from the ground. These beautiful, fragile heralds of spring. You'd be totally captivated. But flowers wilt, so at most you could share a few weeks together. What would you think? What would you do? I just love thinking about this stuff. So when I saw that daffodil looking like royalty, I imagined a becorn full of awe and reverence presenting a gift to this flower person, as if she was the queen of spring. So I got to work, building a becorn that was kneeling, holding a gift up. I wasn't sure what the gift would be, so while I built, I kind of just thought about it. And here he is. My best idea for a gift was a floating point of light, but for fun, I asked people on Instagram what they thought I should do, and I got the coolest responses. My favorite was a droplet of water. To hold a droplet of water in your hands is like holding the essence of life, especially to a flower, so I just had to try that one out. And I had an idea how to do it. There's this culinary trick for making little gel capsules. It's called spherification. You combine these 2 chemicals and a skin forms around a drop of liquid. At first I got some really funky shapes, but after some trial and error, I got some really nice round water droplets. They're so cool and beautiful. Now for the flower person. I knew the challenges of building with flowers, but I hoped to avoid those because the whole flower already looked like a creature. It just needed eyes. So I set everyone up, and I added the water droplet, and I took a picture. I really like this shot, and I almost stopped there. But I thought the flower creature looked a bit stiff, and it wasn't quite registering the gift it was receiving. So I decided to try again. By now, all the big yellow daffodils were wilted, but I found this other variety, and I actually chose one that was slightly wilted because this water droplet then becomes a kind of elixir of life, and the flower girl could drink it to be made fresh and new. I added legs to the flower girl this time, which I think is a nice fix to make her not so stiff. I struggled with the arms, so I painted them in Photoshop, which I don't normally do, but I figured it was worth a try. I painted the face in, too. And I removed the wire that was helping her stand. In the end, I really like this shot. She looks less like royalty, and she looks more like a friend, which I kind of like. It's more personal. So I almost stopped there, but I wish she had a rounder head and hair, too. And then later in the summer, I saw these tomatoes, these perfect little green heads. I looked around and found these flowers that had just started blooming, and I figured out a way to attach them so they looked like hair. I was really excited to discover this technique. I call it sewing. For the body, I used a rose of Sharon, which looks like a great dress, but when I put it all together, it just wasn't right. There's something about her face that just doesn't work. I think it's the eyes. And she doesn't really have a chin or a neck. So, of course, I wanted to try again. These dahlias bloomed in my yard at the end of the summer, and I just had to try building with these. Look at this head. It already has purple hair and this punky little green flourish on top. Alright, this video isn't actually of the purple flower. My hard drive crashed and I lost the footage. So I'm just using this other flower to demonstrate how I incorporated everything I'd learned from my previous efforts, like the round head and flowers for hair, and you'll see I added legs. Okay, we're back to the actual flower girl, and this time it just kind of worked out. I removed the clamps in Photoshop and added mouths. And here she is. I can't believe how perfect these dahlias were. I love this final picture. I think she's so pretty, and I feel proud that I learned something with each iteration. So I felt like I'd succeeded, but I just couldn't stop there. So I took pictures of her the next day when she really needed that elixir of life. Poor Dahlia. And then, since I'd figured out a good way to do it, I made some more flower people. This is that floating point of light that I'd originally thought of. And here's another flower person. I put some seeds out to see what animals would come to her. I got these pictures and they're okay. I think I could do better if I try over and over again every September. Maybe I will, maybe not. For now at least, that's it. As always, I have prints on my website and note cards, and I just released next year's calendar. Bye, thanks for watching.